again, my name is Anya, and today I continue my series about the Vril and the runes. So, how to heal yourself with the energies of runes. So, as you know, I refer to the life energies as the Vril energy, right? And so each rune represents certain runic energy patterns. So, and the shape, the sound, and the symbolism of each rune, they harness and they shape these current life energies. And to transform those currents of energy into the many different manifestations that are the foundation for the laws of governing the structures of both the objective universe and the subjective multiverse. So, and like I said, I mentioned before that the universe is filled with Vril, and Vril is not manufactured within the human body. It is the universal force which every atom in the universe is pulsating with. I also explained that the Vril energy is passed through our body's nervous system, the spine, the ydgrasyltry. I associate the 24 vertebrae with the 24 runes of the Elder Futhak. And as I mentioned before as well, the Futhak is divided into 3 parts, or ayats, which means 8. What is important is to separate if we use runes to call energy and hold it, to release it, send it, or for strengthening. We gain strength, for example, with the runes Evas, Urus, and Lagus. So their capacity to hold energy can be increased using the runes representing the 5 elements. And if you listened before, every rune is associated to an element. So Fehu is the fire, Urus, earth, Lagus, water, and Anzus, air, and Isa, the ice. And the rune Evas, used to strengthen, and it can be tasked to discharge its energy in ascending under the will of an illuminated mind using the runes Fehu, Reido, and Kenas. And those are sending runes. So we do know by now that the Vril is a life force that gives forms to all things. So this accept the truth of it. It is everywhere, in everything, including you. It sends a galaxy spinning in the universe, causes a flower to blossom and a volcano to explode, and it breathes life into a newborn baby. Like your thoughts, feelings, dreams, it has no limits. It is a dimension without limits. It is eternal and it cannot be destroyed ever. And I mentioned this before, it is the tool of both the gods. We use it to maintain order in the universe, and the giants who cause chaos, the ripple throughout the cosmos that you see as well if you pay attention. So in this case, on our planet here, we have the ones trying to take over, you know what I mean, and don't want us to know about it. And they use it to control and destroy us, making us slaves, mindless slaves. So it creates currents of life energy that cause the procession of history to unfold. This force is divine, and it is a divine power within you that you can learn to harness, control, and shape to create the future you desire. So trust in your powers to harness Vril and learn how to use it to change the physical world around you. Your thoughts and feelings are instruments you can use to control Vril. You must understand that your thoughts originate with you and that you can control them and use them to change your life. Realize you can direct and control your thoughts, and by doing so, you can control your feelings, because they generate mental energy to control and shape Vril. Once you understand that your thoughts are the means by which you store and record experiences and how you feel about them, you can begin the process of taking charge of your life and controlling your fate. Your experiences are stored in that part of your soul which is the blueprint. You create the pathway to your future. You can create and weave your web, which determines and creates your life. So imagine the universe as a holographic image. Yeah, just to give you a little help here. A hologram, is a program, right? And this has to be programmed. So once you understand how all of this works, you can modify this hologram. Through the power of our mind, we can modify the universe. And for the physical universe, because it is flexible and malleable, so everything solid is made up of subatomic particles, including atoms. So atoms are made up of neutrons, protons, and electrons. But even these subatom atoms, particles, only make up a tiny percentage of the atoms. So the reminder is actually Vril. Therefore, if you continue to break apart an object into its subatom components, they no longer resemble the original object. They kinda like chameleon-like, able to change their form from wave to particle. And actually, quantum physics, they have discovered that electrons do not even possess dimensions and do not even exist in our universe unless we are consciously looking for them. This means unless your mind sends out thoughts about them, they do not exist. Do you know what I mean? If you send out negative thoughts, it will create a negative world. It's not rocket science with all the TV and news programming, for example, So you really need to detach from it. And you need a clear mind, actually. But let's go to the rune now. I explained the rune Evas and the Yggdrasil tree as I was spine last time. So today we continue our journey through the body and runes. So again, Vril is a life force with the power to create, because within the Vril is the universal power of male-female copulation, which is the generative power of creation. So for an example, if you want to look at it a bit closely, like Vril, right? The V pronounced as F for Fehu, which means it's the fire which creates and destroys. The R for Raido, the divine journey, the wheel. I for Isa, the ice that puts a hold on things. The L, Laguz, the water from melted ice where the seeds can grow. The seed sleeping in Isa. So this is like a little example of that force. So and this is represented by the rune Laguz. And the ice, the Isa, represents life in a pre-life force state before it had the power to create, while the melting ice forming the water, the Laguz, so it represents Laguz. And if we look at the shape of Laguz, we can see Isa melting if we look at the rune. So the arm of Laguz, which is pointing downward, is the melt of water from the melting ice. So, or Tiwas, which I'm not getting into, just an example. It directs energy in a certain direction. So it represents a divine order, for example, the connection between the sky and the earth. So, but I try not to go ahead of me here again. So we will continue with the sacral chakra and the solar plexus and Fehu. So I talked about the chakras before, so I will not get into them now, like their function, right? So for me personal, these two chakras kind of work together, right? Like the sacral is where we create, and the solar plexus, this is our heart, right? So our feelings, this is where we have access to our informations. But again, this is my opinion and I'm just throwing it out there. So, and Fehu is also associated with the fire. So, to go back a bit about Fehu, so Frigg, Freya and Freya. So these three deities are said to have been godparents to the Fehu rune. So Fehu is not only the first rune of the Futhark, it is also the first rune of the first of the 3 Ayats, each containing 8 runes. The Ayat is also called Freyr's Ayat. Fehu is closely linked to the fire of creation, the primal fire. So fire is what created everything when the world was still chaos. It is the source of all life, as it melted the ice that formed the drop from the Ymir, the first giant, the first being in the world. And in Fehu, the divine spark blazes, which also serves the people to continually produce children. So look at Fehu. A Fehu showing 2 arms representing fire rising upward and outward, uncontrolled. So you have to make sure you don't leave this energy uncontrolled. Be aware and steer the energy, and this is not only for Fehu, this is for all runes and all kind of energies. Okay, this is very important. So, and as I mentioned before, you can send, receive and store, etc. So if you work with Fehu, with your body and raise your arms, make sure that what you receive gets stored correct, or that if you send something, you know where to send it. So, and Fehu is the rune of fulfillment, attention and alertness. And it also strengthens the psychic powers. Also, it's responsible for your chest area and again good for respiratory problems. You know, it strengthens any illness, and in times of emotional crisis, or if you're just down, you know, it heals disease, locomotion and organs. So now you're wondering why is she talking about breathing problems when it's the sacral chakra or the solar plexus? Because we cannot exist without breathing. That's why. And with breathing, we steer and we collect the Vril energy as well. So also, what is air actually? It's mostly water if you look at it. You know, when you breathe against a glass, you can write your name in it and it feels damp, right? Just an example. So with the air, we can also calm our fire in the solar plexus. And also we get our information from the solar plexus, right? So if we want access to information, we have to breathe the Vril energy in and out there to gain that access. So, and if your respiratory tract isn't working, well, guess what, right? So, therefore, be sure to finish things that you want to quit, to make a fresh start. So this we can do with the root chakra. We can connect, release negativity and make room for new things. Okay, this is why I think they just belong together. So because, as I said before, the solar plexus stores all our memories, all everything, not just from this life, from past lives as well, from our ancestors. So therefore we need the sacral chakra as well to release to the root, okay? And we do release with the root chakra. So, but Fehu is a fire rune, okay? So make sure you control the fire. So here's a little poem about Fehu. Of course, I didn't write it. And unfortunately, it doesn't rhyme in English from the translation in German. So I apologize, but this is just so you have an idea. So here we go. Fehu is named first. With force, she banishes any illness. Against mischief, she knows how to fight back. Possession and wealth will she increase. What's your own should stay your own, but never forget to be humble. So I kind of like it because this represents Fehu in all matters. So make sure it's for the good of all, so your prize is a good one too, right? Without expecting. So don't do good things thinking, cool, if I do this, I'm gonna get that, right? Nope. So it continues, and whose time is now ripe will begin. Gain strength with Fehu's strength. Yeah, I really like that one. So when you understand, you no longer need to seek material goods, you know? And the craving, the race for success, the ambition to be better than the others, they will come to an end. So in all this fades in the face of what you can discover in yourself. So the real wealth of this world exists in the hearts and the minds of us, okay? So you can follow now these easy steps to enter the proper state of meditation. Because I think it's important to explain how you get there, and this is what I want to do. So I'm explaining how to get access to that energy, because everybody always says, cool, meditate a bit, you know, manifest, close your eyes and manifest. This is not that easy, because this is mostly how mistakes happen, because you don't control the energy really, and you don't really have access to the full energy. You just have access to partial parts of this energy, and then the rest is wherever, you know, it goes out, shoots around somewhere. I mean, there are also other possibilities to have access to the runes. But I think I want to start with the meditation for now, just as a training. I mean, you can visualize the runes as well, but in order to do this, you really need to be aware of your body and how to clear your mind really completely, and to let everything go while you're in that state, and how to get access to the deeper parts of your mind. Yeah, and with the different states of the minds, I mean the alpha, and how to go into the theta, and if you want to call it like that. So, because only in a certain state of the mind you can start visualizing. So let's start slowly. So naturally the best time is when you wake up, or just before you fall asleep. So in this state is called the alpha. So you can sit in a comfortable position in a chair, you know, and make sure, or on a couch, or wherever you want to sit, but make sure your feet are flat on the floor, or even better, in the grass. if you can. So, because you need to be completely relaxed. So, and for that, you need to relax and concentrate on every part of your body. So, and you can begin with your head, which I prefer. So, begin with your head, your face, your jaw, your neck, then the shoulders, the arms, the hands, fingers, upper body, lower body, hips, thighs, legs, and finally feet and toes. Right? So concentrate, when you do that, just concentrate of each part of your body. And when you go through all the parts, starting in the head, you slowly feel all your muscles relax. And take your time, don't rush it really. It takes time. And I know it takes time because when I started practicing, I was pretty because I'm Mrs. Patient anyway, so, but it really takes time. So don't get frustrated if you start it and you start thinking about the day, or if you forgot the butter in the supermarket when you went shopping, right? It really takes time, because your brain will just start doing the Macarena with you. But we don't want to have access to the brain, we want to have access to our solar plexus. Remember that. So, and once you have reached a state of total relaxation, you need to concentrate on your breath and how to breathe properly. So, and like I said, the most of the Vril is absorbed through the air when we breathe, and this is why breathing properly is very important. And to be honest, I think we all forgot how to breathe properly. And I have to remind myself too. That's why I take the right to say that. We don't breathe correctly anymore. Babies breathe correct. They breathe with their tummy. We don't breathe with our tummy anymore. Just if you can, watch a baby, how they breathe. They breathe with their tummy, not with their chest. So they still do it right. So, yeah, we even need to learn how to breathe correct again. So then once you relax, you take a long, deep breath. You're pulling all the air into the lower parts of your lungs. And, you try that to draw it all close to your solar plexus, because your lungs are above it, right? And then you visualize, or you feel the energy, the Vril energy flowing deep into you while you do that, and settling in your solar plexus. So, and you can count to 9 as you inhale. Just to do it slow, and even if the 9 is too much, start slow, right? Don't start suffocating on me. So, and as you do, your stomach should be expanding, right? This is what I just mentioned. Babies still breathe right, we don't. And then hold your breath for a few seconds. 9 seconds. But again, start slowly, don't suffocate on me. So, and then you finally slowly exhale, counting to 9. And you can repeat this breathing exercise 9 times, or as many times as you want. But just for me personal, the 9, there is a reason. For me personal, it is because Odin hung 9 days on the tree to gain the knowledge, and we want the access to that knowledge in our solar plexus. That's why I put the number 9 in there. So if you have trouble inhaling, holding your breath, then do it all together, 9 seconds. And again, keep in mind, even this will take practice, and it will come easier to you. So, yeah, for now I would like you to practice this, and next time I will give you the next step, how to get access to your lower mental level, the theta, and how to visualize the runes. Also, how you can use your body to work with the runes energy, or even with singing, but that's far away yet, the singing. So, because we have to get into that state of trance first, you know, and it's not done with just being relaxed and wanting to manifest and visualize. That's all nice and cute, but that's, like I said, it's not how it works. You need to get into that state of trance. And just sitting there and listening to nice music will not do the trick. It's work. It's really work. And training, practice. And with this state of trance, I mean, for example, what can I use for an example? Have you ever been in a situation where you're like really tired, like overtired? I want to say overtired, so overtired, and you don't have the chance to sleep because you're working or traveling or whatever, and you're so tired that your mind drifts off, and you start seeing pictures. Do you understand what I mean? So this is the state I need you in. I need you in that state where pictures come to you. This is the state of trance. And that's, like I said, a lot of practice. And only then we have the access to our solar plexus, to the stored memories. And because I saw once a horse on the road because I was so tired. That was many years ago. I was driving in the middle of the night, dead tired, you know, back then with sweet 20, coming from a party, totally overtired, not drunk, I'm just saying, just tired. And I was living in upstate New York, and I think I came from Boston or somewhere, and I had to be home. It was Sunday, and I was so tired, right? And I was really window down and not trying to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, I mean, the highway was empty. It was just me. And all of a sudden, I see this horse in the middle of a road, and me full stop, right? I was so awake in an instant. But of course, there was no freaking horse on the highway. Why would there be a horse standing in the middle of a highway? But this is what I mean. I started hallucinating. So, and this is where you need to get into, I find. But again, this is just my personal experience, and this is how I do it, and this is how I share it, and how you do it is of course up to you. I'm not saying this is the only method and I'm the one that is right here. I mean, you might even find other methods out for you, right? So, and then of course then we get to the point where we visualize the runes, or where we can even write it on a piece of paper, or work with the runes itself that we built ourselves, that we made ourselves, and hold it. And there are many ways. So, but for now, I would say maybe I try to guide you how to get into that state. I should have done that last week, but I wasn't thinking about it. So, but it hit me that it's really important. Yeah, I wanted to share it, but because everybody says, oh, you need to meditate and relax, but then what, you know? So if you want to manifest something, it takes a little effort, because it only takes effort because we're not used to it anymore. That this is what I mean by that. We have that all naturally, but through the programming and everything, it's not that easy access to us anymore, and that's why we need to get into that state again. We need to be able to do that, and after a while it will be easier. You don't need to go through all that process of relaxing, of this and that. After a while it will come naturally to you. You will connect easily with the runes. So yeah, I hope you can work with it, and that this was interesting for you and it helped you a bit. And I'm not sure, next week I think I will talk about talk about the herb going with Fehu and the resin. Yeah, I think that's what I do. I just had an epiphany. yeah, then I will explain the herbs that you can use during the meditation and smudge, because that's what I like to do. You don't have to, but I will throw it out there. Okay, well, I thank you so very much for listening, and yeah, you have a good day or good night or good morning wherever you are. Bye bye.